This episode is brought to you by Cardimax. Life on the front line requires you step up your game. Owned and operated by former Navy SEAL Sean Matson, Cardimax has designed just the right supplements for you and is offering American Party an exclusive offer. Buy one, get one free in your first order. Go to Cardimax.com and use the promo code American. That's Cardimax.com, helping you achieve your max. Hello. Good evening. Well, it's not evening, I guess, but
it's not. It's actually afternoon.
Kind of a matter of opinion, really.
Well, it just depends.
Yeah, I identify as being in the evening.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I actually identify as in the morning.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I guess we need to fight then. I mean, that's how it works in society.
You're wrong.
Yeah, one of us has to be right, the other one has to be wrong, and to determine that instead of debating it, punch each other in the face and see who wins.
So you know what makes it even harder to be right or wrong is when you can identify as shit without logic, right? Yeah. Like that makes it impossible.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing.
Well, you're my favorite thing.
Thanks. That's nice. So today is National Crayon Day.
Okay.
And
all right,
got you a little gift.
Right.
Can you go to my single here? This is a gift for Dakota Meyer 0317. See, he's a Marine Corps guy.
Okay.
He's a Marine Corps guy. And he likes to eat crayons. So we got them this. You want to play that music? This is, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You enjoy those. Don't eat them all in one place.
Yeah, I'd like to accept this on behalf of the nation, on behalf of all Marines out there who give the Army something to look up to. Yeah,
well, I mean, we really look up to the people that can't afford the right gear to go to war with. So
whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. Listen,
No, Nico, we couldn't find a 64 pack. I tried. I sent Hot Bob out, but he came back with this. And that's the best. Look, let's not pretend that Dakota's worth a 64 pack, though. To be honest,
this is fucked up.
No,
man.
You're worth the 128, is what I'm saying.
Oh wow, are you hitting on me?
Yeah, constantly. What are you talking about? Are you not picking up on this?
This is kind of fucking awkward. I guess you want to play a puzzle?
No, I know where that leads.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get pregnant again.
Oh, that's true. My pull-out game is strong.
Mine is not because I don't pull out. I guess my pull-out game could be strong. I just refuse to do it. You know what I mean? It's like technically I could dunk, but I like layups.
Yeah.
And 3-pointers are worth more. Is that right? I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm with you.
We got a lot going on today in America. We're talking immigration crisis today, border crisis. There's a lot of shit going on, right? You've seen it. We have my buddy James Klug is down at the border fucking around, taking statements, making videos and such. It seems really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, I guess, whether I agree or not with somebody's opinion or like, look, when the left was just all hot on Donald Trump about this, right? I mean, they were fucking hot about this.
Yeah.
I don't care, like, whether I agree with, about immigration, your policy or whatever, but like, why don't you just be consistent with the fucking problem?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like that's the problem I have with this. It's not about the left or right's agenda or who's right or who's wrong. It's just about, look, just be fucking fair across the board. Like if this was, if it was a problem under Trump, then it's definitely a huge fucking issue under Biden. And why is it's just, we are getting the politics and the leaders of this nation are getting further and further every single fucking day from what we need. I mean, there's no arguing. This is not a bipartisan issue. This is a fucking problem. Yeah.
Well, it's not a partisan issue. Yeah, I agree with that. This
is not even a political argument. It is a human, like it is. I mean, you got humans down there that are just so fucked living in. I mean, what does it mean? Like transparency. And then I seen, when Biden was giving his speech, he wouldn't answer the fact of transparency. Like we talk about transparency, but he's not even letting the the media in down there?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Like, how
I have
crazy
no
is
idea
that?
what's going on. Here's a clip from the vice president from when she was running for vice president. Hang on.
If you get your mouth off the top of, you don't put it in your mouth, you talk into it.
No, I cup it and then put my
do.
mouth around it. Let's see.
What is happening with the detention of these children, the circumstances by which they arrived, is a human rights abuse being committed by the United States government. And so we are here to stand up and say that we are not going to allow this to happen, not on our watch. I will tell you, when elected, the first thing I'm going to do, one of the first things, is to shut down these private detention facilities. Just shut them down.
So they're all shut down now. Thank you, Vice President Harris, for shutting them down, except for no, they're worse than ever. 16,000 unaccompanied children were across the border this month, with the amount expected to increase in subsequent months. 22,000 children are expected in May, and they're looking at about 25,000 per month for the rest of the year after that, at least for 7 months or so. HHS is currently 6,000 beds short for the children that are already here. So they're planning to open up space for 5,000 more children using sites on military bases. They're going to need an additional 34,000 beds by September. And by September, HHS will have 34,000 beds. Expected to, if the numbers keep increasing at the current rate, they'll have 53,000 unaccompanied children in custody by then.
And what I think is crazy is you know, now they're getting ready to start sending them to, like, they've got military bases that need to get ready to receive them.
Yeah.
So we're going to force other people. So basically, we're going to take them and put them behind another fence, right? I mean, and then let's talk about this other issue. Let's talk about this is like, they're so hell-bent on Americans having, you know, we're talking about these vaccine passports and shit. I mean, these people don't even have to have a passport to get in our fucking country.
No,
and you're going to require.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
this
wild,
is
man.
so fucking insane. And it's crazy that here's the bottom line about this. It is crazy that we have people that are put in place that want to protect immigrants, illegal immigrants, more than they want to protect their own citizens. How fucked is that?
Yeah. So you what you expect out of all this is the when I say out of all this, I mean politics in general, is the typical, the Gavin Newsom, the Lori Lightfoot, the fucking the Cuomo, rules for thee but not for me, right? Mm-hmm. And now the not for me has extended to illegal somehow. Homeland Security expects 500 to 800,000 more migrant family groups, or migrants and family groups this year. That's another. I mean, if you believe the numbers, and there's 12 million illegals in the country right now, we're adding 1/12 more just this year. By September.
I just don't understand like how this is a complicated issue.
Well, it's a complicated issue insofar as what do we do with these people?
Well, I mean, look, I can tell you what you do is if you turn around and you put a system. If our government created this because our government's so fucked up that it won't process these people in a timely manner to get them into this country, to give them a clear. I mean, try to go get your fucking just your registration switched over or some shit, right? Like, imagine trying to come to this country and be a citizen, right?
Yep.
The government has gotten so fucked up that there's no clear path for these people to come to this country, which I think this is what gets mixed up about this is it's not about we don't want them here.
No.
Nobody's saying that.
Well, I mean, they're children, right?
Well, I mean, but
most of them.
But if their parents could come here, the children, you know, if there was a clear route here, you wouldn't have this problem.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So, you know, you have to believe in you know, humanity that parents don't want to just send their fucking children off. Like, you have to try to believe that there is some good in this, that their parents are trying to send children over for a better life, right? And if we had a clear path of where these people could go to it, I mean, really, how long do you think it should take for someone to be able, for us to be able to use our systems to decide if their background check and all this shit to process, to give them a social security number, let them come to the United States, let them find their job and everything else. And how long do you think that process should take?
I think it should take 5 to 10 years. Like, you have to demonstrate some value to the United States.
But for them to just be able to come. just to be able to come across legally.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I wrote a paper on this in college, and it was comparing the U.S.-Mexico border to the Poland-Germany border. So Germany had this huge issue, not on the same scale, but the same general problem with Polish immigrants coming over, working illegally, not paying taxes. Obviously, the shuttling, the coyoteing, if you want to call it that, back and forth across the border, developed a criminal smuggling class, which helped facilitate drugs and guns and all this other bullshit. And that's what's happened here as well, right? I mean, having a closed border system like we have right now with no pathway to citizenship has resulted in a professional smuggling class that is, by and large, better suited to handle their job than CBP is to handle theirs, because we tie their hands on a regular basis with the catch and release programs, the lack of funding, the lack of personnel, and all that shit. It's a losing battle that we're fighting. What Germany did was they would issue work permits, federal work permits through the companies, right? It's not a visa, it's a work permit. You can come across the border, work for however long, go back, and if you as a company get caught employing somebody without one of those federal work permits, you don't get fined. Your business is shut down. But we have
those. There's those here now.
No, not even close.
Yeah, there's visas. There's work visas.
Oh, there's work visas. Yeah, but the penalty is not the same. If you get caught, if you're a company, right?
But the process is also.
Wait. If you're a construction company and you get caught employing, or a landscaping company, you get caught employing illegals, you get a fine.
Yeah,
little fine.
That's it.
In Germany, you get caught employing somebody that doesn't have the federal work permit, your assets get liquidated, and your fucking company is gone forever. First offense, you're gone.
Yeah.
And that's how it absolutely has to be.
That would be accountability.
Yeah, that's how it absolutely has to be. Yeah. You can't fuck around with this stuff, because here's what happens when you're a pussy on immigration, and everybody knows Biden's a pussy. Everybody knew Obama was a pussy. What happens is people are like, fuck it, we're going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's also it's an emotional topic, because we all know someone who came here who is a good person that came here possibly illegally or you know what I mean?
I'm not mad at people for trying to get into the best country on
I know,
earth.
but that's what they're trying to play off of.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's the emotion they're trying to play off of. And I think that, look, we're all not so far off when we get down into the details. But the problem is again, they are trying to make these topics emotional so that nobody looks at the government and says, well, if you guys had a process that fucking worked, we wouldn't have this problem, right? It's again just forcing this problem off onto where the American people are fighting, so that they're distracted from looking at the government's fucking issue.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all the government does, right? Though is all politicians, as we say on the show all the time, are cunts, and they have no interest in solving any kind of problem. All they're trying to do is stay in power. So the Biden administration actions and response so far have been this. They reinstated the catch and release policy, where immigrants are released into the USA after making contact with CBP. Now, James Klug, our buddy, he's going to be on the show Sunday night on Drinking Bros to talk about all this shit. Stay tuned for that one. But he's already shown me all the evidence of people are coming to the border, right?
Yep.
Anybody that's 18 or older gets released that doesn't have a criminal record already here, which is most people.
They give them a fine, and then they say, come back.
No. They don't give them a fine or anything. They don't even give them a court date. They say, you will get a court date at some point. Here you go.
How do you get in touch with them?
How the fuck? I have no idea. And somebody down at the border is also giving these people packets. And on the front of the packet, it's a manila envelope. And it's on the front of the packet. I've seen these myself. It says, please help, I don't speak English. And $2,500 in cash is inside of it. Then they're getting on planes with no ID and flying to random places throughout the country. I've seen the fucking the boarding passes for Boston, for New Jersey, for fucking New York, everywhere. So they're just sending these people out into the country. For what reason, I have no idea. My understanding is it's probably the Catholic Church that's doing that. But
what?
I don't understand how.
Why would the Catholic Church be doing that?
What do you mean?
Why would they be doing that?
Because everybody down there is Catholic. The Catholic Church systematically raped children for decades.
Yeah, but I don't.
And then they spent billions of dollars cleaning up that mess, and nobody was ever held accountable. There's nobody in prison.
There's no accountability.
The Pope before this Pope was the guy that ran the program. He was the fucking Pope. All right? Fuck nuts. Catholics. Like, Catholic people are fine. The Catholic Church, very bad. Evil organization, and they need to be fucking kicked out of this country.
That's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Now, Biden's also repeatedly blocked the media, as you said before, from even coming down there. Trump invited people to come down to the border and check it out. And then you remember some of the results of that, belly aching over the same shit that over the facilities that Obama built, by the way. And the AOC staring into a fucking, crying into a fucking parking lot with nothing in it. Just like looking out into Mexico like, oh God, Mexico. Fences, like, oh my God, lady. Cruz was blocked from recording the holding cells. I'm sure everybody's seen that. Filled with children. A member of the Biden administration was like, we're just trying to protect the dignity of these people. And Ted Cruz is like, this is not dignity. Having people wrapped up in fucking thermal blankets on the ground in a glass cube is not dignity. And if you think it is, there's something fucking wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be fair, this is not new. One, it's not new to the Biden administration. It's bigger now because he's a pussy, but it's not new. This has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
So, the media is probably as complicit in all the ills in America as any other group or organization. They're just as bad as politicians at this point. I mean, the way they're covering this is out of control, or not covering, I suppose.
Well, it's just the way that the media is covering this is, I mean, it's immoral. I mean, it's like it is immoral.
It's certainly unethical.
100%.
Right? I mean, the AP released this memo instructing its journalists to not refer to the situation as a crisis. Somebody leaked this. Here's what the memo stated verbatim. The current events in the news is a problem for border officials, a political challenge for Biden, and a dire situation for many migrants who make the journey, but it does not fit the classic dictionary definition of a crisis. That's the AP leadership sent that to its journalists. They also told their journalists not to use the word surge because migration is such a hot button issue. We also should try to avoid imagery conjuring war or natural disaster, which could portray migrants as a negative, harmful influence.
So we don't want to be accurate.
Avoid emotive words like onslaught, tidal wave, flood, inundation, surge, invasion, army, march, sneak, and stealth. This is propaganda.
Yeah.
Right?
It's propaganda.
And keep in mind, the Associated Press is an evil, evil organization and has been since the very inception. So here's a story a lot of people don't know. And if you don't, I'm sorry for mentioning this book again. Goddamn, Temu should be paying me residuals by now. But the Master Switch, go ahead, press it. Oh yeah, we should have a Temu button, yeah. If you read The Master Switch by Temu, he elucidates very clearly how the Associated Press was involved in overturning the results of an election, right? Back in the day. And the reason was because the people that owned them and invested in them didn't want Reconstruction to continue. Reconstruction, for those of you who don't know, was rebuilding the country and integrating black people after slavery ended, right? The Associated Press, that's who shut that down, with Rutherford B. Hayes as president. So thanks, Associated Press. You're a bunch of fucking cunts.
Yeah.
Just the worst human beings imaginable. And this is what happens when you introduce profit motive. I understand that everybody likes capitalism. I will remind you, as you may have heard, or as you'll hear on Drinking Bros tonight with James Altucher, who's this great episode tonight. The word capitalism was coined by Karl Marx, right? He's the one that made that up. It's not like capitalism's in the fucking Bible or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He made that word up as a negative term to describe people who are only interested in money. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you hold on to this term capitalism like it's some kind of gem, I mean, come on, man, be reasonable. This is just, oh my God. I don't understand why people can't divorce themselves from their emotions for 5 goddamn seconds and make a reasonable observation.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I go back to. This is not a complicated, none of these topics that we talk about on here are, if you get down to, the piece of it of what's in the best interest of people in this country.
Yep.
If your priorities are right, these aren't fucking complicated issues.
No.
They get complicated when you try to figure out how to skirt the line of padding your pocket and doing what's best for you as an individual versus what you think could possibly be okay for somebody else, right? You can't do both. You can't do what's best for you and what's best for the people. Like, it's not the same.
Well, I mean, why would you even think, if you're an elected official, why would it even occur to you to do what's best for you? That's not what the fucking job is. That's not what the
fucking job is,
like,
right?
Can you imagine police or soldiers thinking about it that way?
Yeah.
Like, what if you You wouldn't be sitting here right now if you only thought about yourself.
No,
I mean, you would be another fucking veteran somewhere.
And I thought about this. Yeah, I thought about this the other day. Like, you can't be. Like when you're on a mission, like when you go out on a mission, like you spend all your time prepping behind the scenes, especially when you're a leader in the military, right? Like while your guys are resting, what are you doing? You're planning the mission. You're putting all this shit together. You're getting all the support together, right? You're making sure everybody else's gear is good, right? Yeah. They're resting. And then you as a leader, you're back here busting your ass, working on yourself and making sure that you're ready to go so that you can focus on making sure they're ready to go in the time, right? And because when you step outside the wire, there's no more, or you kicking a door, there's no more thinking about you. Yeah. It's you figuring out the fucking problem in here, and what happens to you doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. It's about how do I make sure these guys are okay, and how do I make sure that and that's the difference between being a leader and being a fucking follower. Followers can worry about themselves, and leaders have to be worried about everyone else.
Yeah, and do you want to be a fucking follower?
Well, I mean, the problem is we got a bunch of fucking followers who are up there and leading our country.
Well, that is the real problem. The real problem is we have a bunch of followers who are masquerading themselves as leaders, and they clearly are not, right?
Exactly.
And you could always tell.
When you have a follower in a leader's position.
Yeah, the people who have to yell the loudest, that's not a leader. Exactly. If you have to yell to get your point across, and you have failed your team, you failed yourself at that point. You failed your country. And it's a real problem, man. I mean, we say it's one of our principles, leaders eat last, right? And what does that mean? It means that, the mission comes first, right? Yeah. And the mission doesn't work unless the people are taken care of. No, I'm fine. And even if I'm not, it wouldn't matter, but I am fine. So what do you do when you're in a city? If you're the type of person who reaches the plateau, the pinnacle, whatever it happens to be you're going for, and you put your bag down and be like, all right, cool, I made it. You're fucking wrong. Yeah. Right? The first thing you should do is turn around and make sure everybody else made it too.
But either way, let's go back on this a little bit. You were a leader when you weren't fine. Mm-hmm. Like you don't just become a leader. Like a leader is not a guy who focuses on himself for fucking, 50 years and then starts donating as a philanthropist. Mm-hmm. That's not a leader. That's you being a philanthropist. Yeah. Right. A leader is someone who leads even when it's fucking hard on them. Like they put their problems second and they put others first. That is what a fucking leader does. Right. They put their individual problems, issues, things that they're dealing with, they put those second to other people's problems. And that is what a leader is. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the best position ever. It doesn't matter whether you can retire or financially you're stable. That's not it. Leaders are made when shit is not, when shit has to be figured out because everything's chaotic. It's easy to be a fucking leader after if you don't have anything to lose.
Yeah, of course.
It's easy to go and be a leader when you don't have to worry about paying your bills.
Yeah, and that's why as much as I hate that rah-rah bullshit, we were actually talking about it before the show, that whole McCraven thing about making your bed or whatever. Like, I don't care. The making your bed thing is just a red herring to me. I understand what he's saying, but what he's talking about is holding yourself accountable, right? Yeah. So instead of leaving that piece of trash on the fucking counter when you're on your way to sleep, double take, turn around and look at it again and be like, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to do the right thing right now, even though it's on this small scale, because you train yourself to start doing the right thing when it matters, right? Yeah. Like, I'm hungry right now. Whenever you're feeling some kind of negative emotion or feeling, I'm in pain, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm pissed off, whatever it is, if you can train yourself to, before you address your issues, to see how it's affecting other people, you can become a real good human being if you act that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you can become like a good parent. You can become a good partner. You can become a good business person. You can become a good friend, whatever it is.
When you put your shit aside.
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't address your shit at some point. What I am saying is that leaders eat last, motherfucker.
Addicts MTB or whatever the fuck your name is. No, Bezos is not a leader when he donates $250,000. Yeah, that does not make him a fucking leader. He's donating money so that other leaders can lead people to do shit. Yeah, yeah. Like, that doesn't, donating fucking $1 million a year doesn't make you a leader. It might make you a decent human being or a good human being, but it doesn't mean that you're a fucking leader. No, you can't buy yourself to be a fucking leader.
No, certainly not. I mean, money is not money helps, right? But I pay a lot more attention to the person that gives the last of what they have than the person that gives some of what they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means a lot more to me. And look, I'm not. Yeah, he's definitely joking.
Yeah. I was like, what? What do you mean? Especially Bezos.
Nobody in this room is going to be defending Jeff Bezos.
I was like, I thought it was a troll in here. I was like, what? Who let them in here?
Well, look, we're all a little bit of a troll, right? Yeah, I mean, how can you not be? I can't stop trolling.
Yeah.
That's all I really do, to be honest.
I did think Poppy was kind of cute on Trolls.
What?
Poppy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't watch Trolls?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
This is a kid's thing, right?
Wow.
I assume. I don't have children, so if I was sitting at home watching fucking kids shows, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Dakota. You have young children. I don't.
I guess. Whatever.
I'm calling the cops.
Awkward.
Yeah, it is awkward now. Why don't you eat a Crayon and refresh your palate right quick, you piece of shit.
Okay.
So, won't you, Homer can? What did you say? Hold on, let me go back and see what you said. Ignore your comments.
So what we're saying is Joe Biden isn't a leader. Fuck no.
Well, that dude doesn't even know where he is right
Joe
now.
Biden doesn't. He is. Yeah. Joe Biden is so. I feel bad for the guy. You almost have to feel bad for him.
Yeah, but I don't understand why Kamala Harris, whatever, isn't just being constantly shit talked by the media.
You know why? Because she's staying out of it.
No, she's in front of the camera more than he is.
Dude. But the media's not putting her out there. The only thing I've seen about her in the last few days is that she's pissed off for living out of a suitcase for the last 2 months while the official VP's residence undergoes renovations.
Oh, that's rough, man.
It sucks. I bet it sucks. I bet it does.
Yeah, that's real tough for you. You've done nothing at all to deserve your position in life. You piece of shit. I'm glad she's suffering. I hope she suffers more. Let's see. Let's get to some sponsors, and then we'll move on with some more immigration talk. Are your current supplements leaving you falling cashed out and flat? We get it. Life on the front lines requires you step up your game. Introducing Cardamax. Well, you know Cardamax now. We had Sean Matson on the show the other day. Great products. It's a little pouch. Dump it in whatever you're drinking. The energy intensifier optimizes your workouts. People are using it for pre-workout. People are putting it in booze, putting it in water just to get going during the day. In the morning, getting that 2 o'clock rush. They got blue raspberry, pink lemonade. It's got natural caffeine and branched chain amino acids, or BCAAs, as you know them. They also have the immune booster, which is this one. This is what I drink every single day. I drink at least one of these every single day because it's got a lot of shit in it. Schisandra extract. It's got all kinds of stuff. We talked about it. If you really want to hear the breakdown of the chemicals in there, go back on Drinker Bros and watch the episode with Sean Matson earlier this week. Really good show. Talked a lot about the stupid shit he's doing. He's running a mile in a bomb suit.
Why?
It's 84 pounds.
Why? Did you ask him why?
Man, asking a Navy SEAL why they're doing so. Ask Ray Care why he just does fucking 6,000 push-ups a day. He's like, oh, I'm doing push-ups. I'm like, you didn't answer my question, asshole. Because he's crazy. That's why.
Yeah.
They got 2 amazing flavors in the immune booster too. They got watermelon and orange. Orange is my favorite, but some people don't like orange. Watermelon is actually really good as well. Cardamax understands your mission, knows where you got to go, knows that you need a little bit, and it's a veteran-owned company, it's Navy SEAL guys. So go to Cardamax.com, promo code American. They're got an exclusive BOGO offer, so it's buy one get one free on your first order. Go to Cardamax.com, use the promo code American. That is CARDOMAX.com. Use the promo code American, and you'll get that BOGO. Who we got up next here? Keeps. Keeps is the one that is really interesting to me because I like science.
Yeah, you are big on.
I am. Yeah, I like the an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure. Is a very meaningful phrase to me. We wait so long. This whole thing that's going on with donuts being given out for vaccine stuff. I mean, it's so antithetical to health. Yeah. We treat our health so poorly here. We don't do anything in advance to help ourselves. Now, here's something that you can very easily do. Excuse me. Let's see. Let me get here. So Keeps is something like half of all men are going to face male pattern baldness at some point in their life, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to lose your hair for a variety of reasons.
I'm not.
Well, we'll see. I've actually seen you from behind quite a bit.
Yeah. What do you think? Do I have a bald spot back there?
It's going to be one, yeah. Sorry.
If you get your hands out of it.
Oh, it's actually 2 out of 3 men will start to experience some form of hair loss by the time they're 35. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffering from male pattern baldness, and there are only 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. And notice that the key phrase prevent, right? You don't want to be a bald dude rubbing cream on your bald spot. You want to stop this shit before it happens. It's a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. Virtual doctor consultations. Medication delivered straight to your door without an actual in-person thing, so you don't have to leave your house. Treatment starts as low as $10 a month. They offer all the generic versions of the FDA-approved drugs. Discreet packaging, proven results. They've got more 5-star reviews than any of their competitors. Prevention is the key. And it takes 4 to 6 months to see results, so you got to get started fast. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/American to receive your first month of treatment for free. So you get the first month free. Try it out. See how you like it. Test the whole program. That's keeps.com/American to get your first month free. Keeps.com/American.
Keeps.
Ross uses it. He's got a full head of salad.
Yeah. Can you use it on your beard?
I don't think so. I think it's only for your head here.
Okay.
Because it's a different type of
hair.
Baldness, yeah. Like male pattern baldness, there's actual causes for it, and this treats those directly.
Yeah, my hair wouldn't be as fucked up as if you quit pulling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you stop getting extensions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, you stop getting fake eyebrows in your eyebrows or your eye. What is it? What are these ones called?
Eyelashes,
yeah. You stop getting fake eyelashes, and now they're really growing back.
Yeah. They're getting long now.
You were going full cholo there for a while.
But I like, I've been using this clear. It's a clear mascara.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Well, it makes them
just teases out a little bit.
It makes them look longer. Yeah. I've been wearing that, and then I tried this new foundation. Have you noticed?
I don't want to look at you right now.
Look at me. Look me in the eyes.
You're upsetting me.
Hey, look me in the eyes.
You do have pretty blue eyes.
I do, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was afraid of.
Why'd you have to look down? Why can't you just look
well, I'm looking at the notes for the actual show we're trying to do right now. But yeah, I mean, you had really pretty blue eyes.
Yeah.
We're going to have to stop the show right now and go take care of this. So let's get back into immigration. According to CBP, more than 7,500 people have died crossing the U.S.-Mexico border since 1998. That actually seems kind of low. The most common cause of death are exposure, accidents, and drowning. Hyperthermia is the #1 cause of death for migrants making an illegal border crossing. 21 migrants died in 2 car accidents in March 2021. I think they were running from police, or thought they were, maybe. Between the 16th and 20th of this month, at least 3 people drowned in the Rio Grande, including a 9-year-old girl. Now,
it's fucking terrible.
Those are the dangers to them. So, what I'm looking at this from the standpoint of an infantry guy, and everything tells me that we need standoff, right? What we're doing is standing at the border waiting instead of pushing into Mexico, right? And having JTCCs, like joint terrorism places, the same JTCs like we have all over the country, but instead of all the three-letter plus law enforcement agencies, we would have Mexican police, Mexican immigration, our immigration, and our police all standing there working together, not just making sure that people don't get across, but making sure they're actually taken care of, right? Say what you want to about the fact that they're breaking the law, and they are, but it's still incumbent upon us to take care of human beings, especially children.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for what we're doing right now.
Prisoners get better treatment than this.
Yeah, absolutely do.
Prisoners aren't sleeping on a fucking floor.
No, and you can say that, look, they're not American citizens, so they're not entitled to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but they're humans.
Maybe that's true. And for the adults, to be honest, it is what it is. They know what they're getting into.
100%.
Like if you're a 35-year-old dude and you're trying to get into America, even if you're poor, running from gangs or whatever the fuck it is, as bad as your situation might be, I'm fine with that dude sleeping on the floor for a while because he's a fucking man.
But can you imagine a 9-year-old girl?
No, I can't.
9 years old coming to a country that you can't even understand their language. You know what I mean? That you don't speak the same language. You know, leaving your family. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't. No, not at all. And I know that
you talk about traumatizing.
There was a story earlier this week. Some coyote almost got caught, and I think he had like 35 people with him or something like that. Someone threw a child into the Rio Grande, and a CBP guy jumped in and saved her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here. It's life means something to us, and it doesn't mean shit to them.
I mean, we've been in those countries, haven't
we? Over and over again. And how did we win? We didn't.
Yeah. Well, you can't. I mean, you can't win against somebody who doesn't value life or freedom.
No, you can't. So, well, you can by destroying them. That's the only way. So why don't we just start killing these coyotes?
I mean,
you know I mean, why?
I've said, how many times have I said on this show that we don't need to be in all these other fucking countries, that we just need to get guys on the fucking border and head south?
Well, why don't we start with the ones that are around us and help them get better first? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what I'm saying is like because
what can we do as a country right now to make, and this is what I was talking about earlier with the empathy thing. I'm pissed off right now. I'm tired. I'm hungry. The presumption for most people is I'm working harder than everybody else. Everybody else is fed. Why am I not fed? Blah, blah, blah. The reality is that everybody is tired and hungry.
Yeah.
You've been in those positions at work before where you think I'm the only one that's working hard right now, or I'm the only one doing this or doing that. That is never the case. There might be a couple of shitbags here and there, but for the most part, everybody's working hard. And that's how morale goes south, because everybody gets pissed off about the same shit but never communicates to one another.
But you don't think how much money, let me ask you this. How much, again, it goes back to your famous saying, the only thing that matters in this country is green.
The only color, yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you this. How many billions of dollars do you think that the U.S. banks have loaned to Mexico down there? Mm-hmm. You don't think that they're letting this go on and they don't want to stop this for the simple fact that if the cartels are shut down, they won't be able to pay the fucking loans and the money that's owed to the United States if they shut that down?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some truth to that. Yeah.
You don't think that? I mean, you don't think that we could be getting rid of these fucking cartels, that they don't know who they are, that they don't know? You know they fucking do. It's all back to fucking money. This is a fucking money problem, and these politicians are in with these big fucking banks, and these big fucking banks do not want to shut this down.
No, for sure, and it's we're in a runaway.
I sat in a room. Back in 2000. Probably 2012, and I sat, and there was some big fucking bankers in there, and I just got done giving a speech, and they like laughed at me when I said, we should just take the military down there. We could shut the border down. Mm-hmm. And they like laughed at me, and I'll never forget this one guy. He goes, but Dakota, obviously that's where I came up with this idea. He goes, Dakota, we've loaned a lot of fucking money down there, and if they can't get across and do their deals, how are they going to pay back that money? You don't want that, do you?
Yes.
Yes, I fucking do.
I don't give two fucks about money.
I don't give a fuck about you.
I care about people, man.
And like that's the problem this is a fucking money problem.
Yeah, it is. It always is, right? Poverty is the number one predictor of crime. That is a tale as old as time, and it'll be true for every civilization that ever exists.
When you find when you find in the United States where the money is at, and if the banks could make money off securing the border, we'd have the fucking border secured. But they can't. They lose money off the border secured, right? So then guess what? The politicians are tied to the fucking banks, and that's their fucking problem.
Well, none of these politicians should exist in the first place. And I don't mean exist as politicians. I mean exist as human beings.
I agree.
They're the biggest pieces of shit on earth. The fact that they've taken a position that is intended to be a service to the public and turned it into a service for themselves to the detriment of the public is the biggest betrayal in the history of humankind. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. I mean, you think about evil like the Holocaust, right? Shit like that. Very bad stuff. And that's how it happens. When the government stops caring about people and then starts hating the people. We've seen it in the Holocaust. We've seen it in with the China-Mongolia situation. We've seen it during the French Revolution. We've seen it with England here in America to a large degree. They were just cruising around murdering farmers and their families for sport for a while. You know what I mean? We see it through slavery, where black families, and even after slavery, through Reconstruction, through Jim Crow, people were just getting murdered because of the way they look. All this stuff is the result of people who care more about themselves and their in-group, whatever it happens to be, whether it's their race or their class or their bank or their fucking whatever it is, their power circle, than anybody else. It is the same underwriting emotion. It's the same underwriting immorality that we see. I don't give a fuck about religious stuff. True immorality is looking at somebody that's suffering and deciding to not help, also deciding to make their suffering worse to better yourself. 100%. That's what true immorality is. We're fucking it up. So that's why I said that about earlier, when you're feeling all these negative things, how can we help someone to stop feeling that stuff? Because through doing that, you're going to help yourself. Here's what I mean. If we can help Mexico and Guatemala, where most of these people are coming from, bolster their economy.
To where they have a place where people want to stay and they feel like they can be successful.
And reform their political systems, right? In a way that doesn't involve macro war, obviously.
Yeah.
Hold them accountable. Like, yeah, Mexico does have a lot of our money, but they need more of it. And they're not going to get any more unless they start acting right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have so much leverage over this shit, and we don't flex it ever.
Yeah, but the wrong people have got the money down there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And guess what? Guess what's pretty damn close to that? I mean, we're seeing it more and more here in the United States, right? Like the pieces of shit are getting the money, and the more that the pieces of shit get the money, it's kind of like like in the military when you should have like wrote this guy up, or you should have like found a way to demote this guy because you knew he was garbage, but you just said fuck it, right? Like, and then next thing you know, you look back and that dude's now a sergeant major or a general.
Like Lamarcky Knowles, for example.
It's like. That's what happens is we've stopped holding people accountable. And when you stop holding people accountable, they rise to power, and now you got a big fucking problem.
Yeah, we do have a big fucking problem. I mean, the people rising to power is one thing, but the expectation of others who are like them and think like them that they can rise to power is the same. It's an analog for what's happening at the border. They see a weak president come in that's clearly going to just catch and release them into the United States, and they start fucking. Of course, they're coming in record numbers. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, if it's like in war, if we're fighting online and we see a break in the enemy's defenses, we're all going to fucking flank them. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is a war. I don't think these people are trying to start a war with us. They're just trying to get the fuck away from a bullshit situation. You know what I mean? But the tactics remain the same, and they're very predictable as well. So I don't know what the fuck we're doing here.
I mean, and I think that like when you humanize this issue, right? When you humanize it and you go, okay, you've got people who are willing to send it's a situation so bad in Mexico that they're willing to send their children, risk sending their children, risk their life, leave everything that they know for something they don't know in the hopes that it'll be better, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying go down there and fuck Mexico up and try to fix Mexico because we don't want them here.
No.
But when you put the humanization piece on it and some empathy, you look at these people, their world is so fucked up that they're trying to leave it.
Yeah.
Why can you not do it out of wanting to help people? Because it's better for them if we can go down there and make their world a little bit fucking better, right?
I want Mexicans to be traveling to the United States the same way that we travel to Cozumel and places like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It should be a vacation.
But them still wanting to go back home.
Yeah, they're not trying to escape. And look, if they want to emigrate here, that's fine.
Yeah.
If they're, but like we don't need influxes of poor people. It's not going to help anything. You know what I mean? And I refuse. I understand the America First stuff. We should absolutely try everything we can to fix our own country because it's super fucked up right now. But I refuse to accept the fact that we can't help ourselves and other people at the same time. I don't believe that. There's not a finite amount of money. It's just not true. There's a finite amount of money because we're wasting it on bullshit. We're paying 500 or so Congress and senators to be complete shitbags. We're paying them $200,000 a year to fucking rob us of our money and power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could stop that shit. We can stop spending $5 trillion on Iraq, for example.
And I keep seeing all these people over here saying, you know, they're doing this for caravans. They know if they load up and fill the detention. I got it. I got that there's that they know how to play the fucking game when they get here, right? Mm-hmm. I got it. That's just them being smart. Mm-hmm. The point is that these people are still wanting to leave where they came from. They are still wanting to pick up all their shit, to leave their home, to try to find something a little bit fucking better. And with whatever tactics they're using to do that, I mean, look, you ever been in survival mode? You'll do whatever the fuck it takes, right? And I think that's the point that we all have to go back to is empathizing with these human beings who were born literally. The difference in us and them is that we were born in a different location. Yeah. They didn't choose to be born in Mexico.
Yeah, for sure. But ultimately, we also have to be prepared for the possibility that this is an unsolvable situation, right? And prepare to react to that. Look, we can't get into nation building again. We can't. We can't. We can't be invading fucking Guatemala and Mexico and setting up new regimes, because that shit, one, it never works, and two, that is not the way to go about it.
Well, it definitely doesn't work the way we do it.
No, of course not. It's not, the way to do it is through incentivizing people. That's the only way it ever works. But then, you know, Mexico being what it is, they are going to take advantage of any incentive we give them because the government's corrupt. Yeah. And to be honest, the American people are like, we can't do that because the Mexican and Guatemalan governments are corrupt. You don't think the fucking American government's corrupt? Yeah. I think the operative phrase there is government and corrupt, motherfucker.
People are saying this is an invasion. They're trying to destabilize us within. What would they do with that?
You think poor fucking Mexicans and Guatemalans are trying to destabilize us?
What would they fucking do? No, what would they do to destabilize us?
Mexico would collapse completely if America
Mexico's got this big scheme to take us over?
Yeah, that's nonsense. That's not. There's like 30 million people down there.
That's fucking good.
But you know, I would say there's a lot of bad actors, there's a lot of criminals. Obviously, we see the result of that. There's a lot of cartel involvement. And I don't think any of the approaches we've used so far have worked. You can't attack the cartel directly because it's like trying to fight the Taliban directly. It doesn't work, man, because as soon as you kill 2 or 3 of them, 50 more pop up.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, because people are opportunists, and especially down there where they're poor. If they see a vacuum in a power system that's going to make them a lot of money and get them out of poverty, they're going to take advantage of it. Absolutely.
But if we go down there and we show them, if you start building up a culture of where they want to protect what they have nothing to protect right now. Like, they have nothing to fucking protect. You get people who, like, you take America. The one thing that separates us from Iraq, Afghanistan, any of the countries we fought in, right, and probably Mexico, do you think that anyone here is, I mean, they won't even let cops walk on their fucking land, right? Do you think anyone here is going to let people just come in and walk in their house and say, I'm going to fucking do this, or I'm going to take this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course not, yeah.
Of course not. Because why? Because we value what we have, right? We appreciate the life that we have, whether we want more or not. At the end of the day, we appreciate what we have. And if we can get a country like Mexico, I mean, look, Iraq and Afghanistan, we used to walk in their fucking houses and tell them that they're going to sit there with us for 3 days and they don't have an option, right?
Yep.
I mean, here people would die to keep you from doing that.
Protect their building that they keep their stuff in.
Imagine
but
if
it's because you feel like you have equity in that.
Imagine if you could go.
It's the reason people go to war for America too, because they feel like they have equity in the country.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, that's what you have to foster.
Imagine if you could empower people in Mexico to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see that. It would be nice, and I've talked to a lot of Border Patrol guys over the last couple of weeks about what's going on. They are so, the morale's bad. They're really angry about what's happening down there, and they're not just angry about the catch and release thing. By the way, they're angry about the way people are having to be treated. It's like your buddy is an idiot and invites some asshole to the party, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Why'd you do this? Like, all this chaos is happening now because of your lack of foresight.
It's because there's no need for it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no need for it.
No, there's not. And it's, you know, I feel like this is such an analog to all the poverty in America, too. So if you think about L.A. back in the day, it's being gentrified all to Christ right now, but all the fucking pockets of poverty, whether it's white people in West Virginia or Mexicans in Southern California or black people in fucking Maryland, wherever it is, poverty breeds the exact same thing every single time.
100%.
100% of the time. So we can't even fix it in our own country. Not because we can't, because we fucking refuse to. You know what I mean? We refuse to take responsibility for what's happening. And this immigration crisis, and that's what it is going to cripple our economy at some point. It will, because we will go back and forth every 4 to 8 years on how to handle it, and nothing will ever get done.
And that's exactly why we couldn't win Iraq, why we couldn't win Afghanistan. The target was always changing. Imagine if you went to the gym every day and you changed up what your goal was.
Yeah. And there's some really easy things to do. You have to incentivize in the right way, but you also have to remove the incentives that create negative behavior, right? So the catch and release thing, negative incentives. You cannot allow that ever to happen. Throw them back across the border and from a catapult if you have to. Get them out. Because if they think they can come here and just stay here indefinitely, then they're going to come. Yeah. There's nothing that's going to stop them. The Dreamer thing, the DACA thing, there has to be a cutoff on that. I understand the kids that are already here, but you have to end that program right now for people that aren't already here. Mm-hmm. Like, if you come here now, you're not eligible. Yep. That's what it has to say, right? You have to put sunset clauses on things. You have to end the incentive for negative behavior at some point, and we refuse to do that. I understand the fact you and I have very nuanced conversations about how this is a human rights issue, and it absolutely is. But that doesn't mean it only gets worse, right? Like, if you have somebody that's poor, and we see this in America, this is what the Democrats have done for 40, 50 years. If somebody's poor and they're in generational poverty and you continue to give them handouts, they never get out of poverty, ever.
Yeah, but the government needs poverty.
Oh, yeah.
Because if
they need to prey on people. Yeah.
Well, if the government, do you see people who aren't in poverty relying on the government?
Yeah. Corporate welfare, yeah.
Okay.
For sure. But they do it because they're taking advantage of the system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But outside of that, do you see people who aren't poor relying on the government? The more poverty, the more people have to rely on the government. And the government needs that. The government wants that, right? Because it causes more jobs.
That's their power.
That's their fucking power. Yeah. So poverty is the government's power.
Yeah.
And until we find a way and hold the politicians accountable,
the only way to hold politicians accountable is through the press. And the press is complicit now.
Yep.
So what do we do exactly? I honestly believe that we need to start thinking really hard about how we can stop paying federal taxes until they fix some of this shit.
I mean, we're fucked.
There has to be some kind of way where we all divest our money from any FDIC institution that they could seize it, right? And collectively decide, let's say as Texas to start, that we're not paying federal taxes anymore until you get your fucking shit together. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why AOC and fucking Cocaine Mitch and all these retards in Congress and Senate who are doing this stupid shit all the time and not solving and not doing their fucking job. Like, if this were a business, everybody that works in American politics would be fired.
I mean, I don't think this...
Why the fuck are we still paying these
I don't
assholes?
think this fixes until the states start breaking away from the government.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be...
the states are going to have to start breaking away. A hard reset, right?
That goes back to, the constitutional amendments, right? The Bill of Rights specifically, but also, obviously, women can vote and you can't own human beings. Those are probably good ones, too. But, I mean, we really need to get back to a point where power is concentrated at the lowest possible level.
And I don't know why states don't break away from all this, right? Like, if states broke away down into individuals, look, it would allow people, allow California to form their own government, right? Allow Texas to form their own government, whatever works best for them. And then we can all see, hey, this is what you want, California. This is what Texas wants. Do we want to be aligned? I don't want to be aligned with you fuckers.
Yeah, I mean, look, right? why should we have... So we can still meet up for common defense. Colin Quinn talks about it. He's a comedian, Colin Quinn, on that CNN special he did in 2019, talked about it the same way. And he's not liberal or conservative. He's a very rational-minded guy, but he talked about Greece, right? When it was time to fight the Persians, all the Greeks came together. But when it was time to govern, the Spartans were fucking doing CrossFit and taking steroids, and the fucking Athenians were sucking each other's dicks and playing fucking tetherball. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Yeah. But everybody lived their own lives without interference from other Greeks, right? Nobody was telling anybody else what to do or anything. They were just doing whatever the fuck they wanted until it was time to fight against the common enemy. Common enemies include poverty, right? But then actual enemies.
Yeah.
And disease and all this stuff.
Well, it's kind of like having
America was built that way.
It's kind of like having your cousins everywhere, right? Like you got your cousin California. Oh, you want to come in and fuck with California? California needs us. All right, here we are. Let's fucking rally it up.
Like California's having a problem, and this is what happened back in the day, by the way. California was having a problem with fresh water, and Colorado was like, we got plenty of fresh water. Here's some of our fresh water. That's the way it's supposed to fucking work, right? But it's not supposed to work when California says, hey, we don't like the way you guys do things here in California. So we're going to come to fucking South Carolina and tell you how to do things. That is not the way any of this is meant to work.
No.
So it's, it is what it is. I don't know. This is a really complex situation. And we can see now the results of the policy changes that Biden has put in since he's been in place. In January, Guatemalan police and military personnel used tear gas, batons, shields in order to stop around 2,000 Honduran migrants from entering their country. So they lined up on their fucking border and tear gas people and beat the Christ out of them with batons and shit so they wouldn't come in. On the 29th, Guatemala issued an emergency decree after reports of a potential migrant caravan getting ready to leave Honduras. So it's not even just Guatemala anymore. During the Obama administration, it started out as Mexicans, and then Guatemalans were like, fuck, it sucks here too, we're coming north. Now it's Honduras, which is south of that. So how fucking far south are we going to go? Or Panamanians going to be here soon? You know what I mean? It's obviously untenable.
I mean, how soon is it before, you got people flying into Mexico just to come here?
Even the Mexican president said that the Biden administration is incentivizing illegal immigration. This is a quote from the Mexican president. They see him as the migrant president, and so many feel they're going to reach the United States. We need to work together to regulate the flow because this business can't be tackled from one day to the next. Now, Mexican cartels are charging, this is what I was talking about earlier, by the way. Mexican cartels are charging an average of $3,250 per person to smuggle people across the border. It is a professional smuggling class that we've created with our own incompetence, right? So it's not just the Biden administration and their weakness. It's also using a hammer on a nail with no plan, right? We fucking hammered these people with no plan. So they're like, well, I have to choose between getting arrested at the border and sent back into Mexico or having my teenage or 12-year-old son get kidnapped into a fucking cartel gang.
I mean, and look, if you charge, if let's say we charge that to be processed to come into the United States to pay for the process. Yeah. It's $14 fucking million a day.
Well,
and you got Social Security cards on them, so they have to pay fucking taxes. Yeah. I mean, look at it. Just, I mean,
that's what cartels are making right now. By the way,
that's crazy.
They're making $14 million a day to smuggle people over the U.S. border. $14 million per day to smuggle people over the U.S. border. That is what I would call a negative incentive. So it's for all these people that are like America first. I agree, but that doesn't mean we just shut everybody else out because it doesn't work. Unless you're willing to fucking spend billions, if not trillions of dollars to line people up on the border and stop every single person that comes in and out of this. And we're not going to do that. Let's be fucking frank about that. We're not doing it. Unless you're willing to do that, a more nuanced and effective approach has to take place that expands from one presidency to the next. It cannot change every fucking 4 years. It can't be when, we got a Democrat president coming in, now it's time to fucking charge the border. We cannot allow that shit to happen anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with the gun control debates. If the right is just gonna fucking stomp its feet, and cry foul anytime any kind of alternative solution is presented, then there will be no solution, and you'll be stuck with the fucking consequences of that. It's fucking dumb. Get your shit together.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I love talking to Border Patrol guys because when they send me pictures, it's not them handcuffing some dude with his face in the dirt that's a cartel guy. Almost every single time they send me a picture, it's them holding some kid. Yeah. Some kid that's there by themselves. And I don't give a fuck what country you're from or what flag you wear on your shoulder. If a child comes across the border alone and you feel like what should be done about that isn't to take care of that child, then you are a piece of fucking shit. Yeah. And you don't deserve to be in a country this good, frankly.
Absolutely not.
So I don't have any patience for that bullshit. Any closing thoughts?
Man.
Let me see what's in the comments.
That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, DACA, sanctuary cities, universal mail-in voting, etc. DJ Keefe, yeah, I mean, certainly the Democrats are trying to take advantage of this situation. There's no question about that. The same way that people in power in America took advantage of the the pandemic bullshit. Like, I don't think America was complicit in any kind of pandemic bullshit, but they certainly did try, and government will always try to take more power. That's what governments do. That's why we have an antagonistic viewpoint on government in America. That's why we have the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? It's the whole point of setting it up this way. RM Smart, how many can we take? Well, we can take as many children as exist. I'm not going to let one child die if it's in my power to stop that from happening, because that's fucking evil to even consider that. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, don't be that kind of person where you're balancing lives on a scale like that. That's not what we do here. We fucking save lives here, even if it hurts us. So the real solution, though, is to handle the problem as it stands right now, but have a plan for the future to stop the problem from happening, right? Like, if you have a broken bone, you set the bone, right? But you also have to take supplement, then you have to do physical therapy afterwards. There's a whole fucking process that happens. And you can't, it's not just a single solution where we cut it off now and like, what are you going to cut your arm off because it's broken? No, you fix the fucking arm.
No, but here's what you do. Like, right off the bat, you turn around and splint it and you get it secured, and then you go to the doctor, right? So I think that we need to have a problem, a solution right now.
Yeah.
Hey, what is the 6 month fix right now, like the Band-Aid, and then what is the long-term fucking solution to fix this to where we start, gradually getting this. I mean, I
completely agree with that. Yeah.
I got to bring this up. We've got to talk about this. So Biden, Hunter Biden, has his new memoir out, right?
Wow.
And it's called Beautiful Things. And it'll be out Tuesday, April 6th.
Can't wait.
And he talks about, this is a quote from it. I bought crack cocaine on streets of Washington, D.C. and cooked up my own inside a hotel bungalow in Los Angeles, Hunter writes. I've been so desperate for a drink that I couldn't make the 1 block walk between a liquor store and my apartment without uncapping the bottle to take a swig.
So beautiful things, right? Those are beautiful things.
Dude.
Oof. Yeah, Ruben Snyder says he thought Hunter Biden's memoirs would be titled Up in Smoke. That's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well done. Although that's already done, right? Cheech and Chong did that one, but what's the Up in Smoke version of smoking crack? I don't know. We'll have to go pull some crackheads down later and see what they think.
Isn't that crazy?
It is wild that he's even coming out with a
could
memoir.
You imagine?
Like, imagine the balls on this guy to come out with a fucking memoir. Like, anybody wants to fucking read that shit.
I mean, could you imagine if
Tales of a Rich Crackhead? That's a good one, Hawk.
Could you imagine if one of the Trump kids had came out with something like this?
Like, I had a prescription pill addiction back in the day, and they're like, "Oh, fucking piece of shit, fuck you." Like, this guy's like, "Oh, poor Hunter." Like, no, you're an adult, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, your life was so hard because of what? Your dad was rich and in power your whole life?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, what a fucking loser.
Yeah, he is a loser. But I back to the immigration thing, I completely agree with you. There has to be a solution. Now, I'm not totally against that premise. I think somebody mentioned it in the chat earlier about a moratorium on new immigration. I think 10 years is a bit much, although some people suggest that. I think they suggested 10 because 10's a round number. But there has to be some pause.
I just think we're so far off. I mean, I just think we're so far away from trying to figure out what legalization looks like, right? Yeah. I think we're at the point of right now figuring out, okay, what do we do with these people coming right now? Well, how do we stop the bleeding?
Yeah.
And then
start the breathing.
Yeah. And then what are we going to do? Look, you can't, whether we like it or not, like the majority of Americans, just because you're not there, you need to, you can't ignore it.
No,
you can't fucking ignore it, right?
Yeah. If your neighbor's house is on fire and you wait long enough, your house is going to be on fire too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you can think about that in your neighborhood, and you can say all this America first shit, but Mexico is on fire right now, and if we continue to ignore it, then our fucking place is going to catch on fire. As a matter of fact, our border is already on fire.
And let's be honest, how long have we ignored this cartel problem? How long have we ignored all these fucking issues that Mexico has?
Yeah. We didn't ignore the cartel problem.
Well,
we made it worse.
Well, I got you.
That.
But what I'm saying is we see all these fucking issues, but we'll send our shit over to Syria. Yeah. We'll send over and go give Saudi a fuck about Iraq and Afghanistan. How many billions of dollars did we spend over there? Trillions did we spend over there fucking fighting those wars?
Yeah, about 30-40% of our national debt is because of foreign aid and foreign war.
But we don't want to fix and work with Mexico.
Yeah.
Like how fucked? Like you talk about priorities are so fucked up.
I understand the premise of America first, and that we should take care of the thing closest to us first, right? Mexico is a lot closer than Iraq or Afghanistan. It's a lot closer than UAE, than Syria, than fucking than Qatar, than Saudi Arabia, who, by the way, 83% of the primary education facilities, meaning high school and below, in Saudi Arabia are madrasas that teach death to America. We still give these people billions of dollars a year.
And on, you know, and I got.
I'll tell you what they don't do in Mexico is kill gay people for no reason. They don't murder women for trying to drive cars. No. You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you this, like, you know, it takes a lot to be an American. Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know too many motherfuckers that were born here that even know how to be a fucking American. So I don't think we can hold other people accountable to a standard that we don't even hold our own people to.
Yeah. I mean, look, what are you doing in your life right now that makes you so fucking, what glass house are you living in? Yeah. That's a good question to ask yourself every single day. What glass house am I living in today? And how do I move into a house that has actual walls?
You know what we should do on the next show? We should let's try to find the immigration test to become national citizen.
Oh, that's easy. There's a practice test on USCIS's website right now. You can pull it up anytime you want.
Let's do it.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I mean, I worked at USCIS, so I've taken that test a million times.
Let's bring it in and let's look at it.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, cool. Thanks for the conversation, you guys. I appreciate your good feedback and your bad feedback. It helps us, you know, process through these. This is a very difficult problem that is. It negatively affects America quite a bit. It negatively affects children from other countries quite a bit more. And to be honest, I'm a lot more concerned with children than I am with banks losing money.
Absolutely.
I don't give a fuck what they look like or where they came from. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys in hell.
All right. See you in hell.